You might be dying a slow, painful death in your current job. Maybe you've outgrown your role, your energy's been off for months, and every day a little piece of your soul gets chipped away. And that fire you once had, that ambition, that sense that you were meant for something more, it's fading day by day, meeting by meeting, project by project. But it doesn't have to be this way. You've got the power to rewrite your story and to seize control of your future. But it all starts with knowing when it's actually time to leave your job. Now, before we dive deeper, let me make one thing crystal clear. I'm not a motivational speaker or one of those gurus who demonize traditional jobs or tell you to quit, become your own boss, chase your passion. Without perspective, that's dangerous advice. Now, this video is about something deeper, helping you understand when leaving a job is necessary for your growth, because staying in the wrong job is way more dangerous than leaving. So my name is Myles. I'm an international management consultant and a personal growth mentor. And over the years, I have helped people navigate the most difficult career decisions of their lives. And if you've been stuck in this gray area of indecision, this is your moment of truth and clarity. You don't want to be one of those people who wakes up 5 years from now asking, why didn't I make that move? So today I'm going to be giving you the 7 clear signs that it's time to move on from your job, and 5 situations where leaving your job would be a massive mistake. And you want to pay attention to numbers 4 and 7 because they're the ones that people miss completely. Let's dive in. Before we dive into the signs, let's clear the air. Let's take a moment to reframe what work really is. Now, most of us enter the workforce with the idea that we'll find that one perfect job. The job that fulfills all your needs, checks every box, and leads to a straight line of progression, perfect employer, the perfect co-workers, everything just clicks. But here's the truth. There's no perfect job. And work isn't a destination, it's a journey. The goal isn't to find a job that makes you happy every single day. It's to find work that challenges you, builds you, and moves you closer to who you want to become. There will be highs and there will be lows, and that's okay. Work is a means, is not an end. It's a tool that helps you achieve your broader life goals, your financial stability, personal fulfillment, and professional development. It's just one part of a bigger picture. And while a job can shape your identity, it's not the entire picture of who you are. So no job is perfect. There will always be aspects you love and aspects that you hate. Embracing the imperfections of your workplace is part of the process. Every challenge, every difficult day is an opportunity for growth. It's all about perspective. So let's say you've been stuck in a rut, you're feeling burnt out, disengaged, and it's like your career is going nowhere fast. Is that a signal to leave, or is it a reflection of bigger long-term misalignments? So let's get into it. When should you leave? You're feeling it, you're feeling burnt out, but what's really happening beneath the surface? So here are the clear signs it might be time to quit. Sign number 1, your health is on the line. Now, this isn't about normal stress or occasional pressure. I'm talking about chronic, persistent issues. If your job is affecting your physical or your mental health, excessive stress, constant headaches, sleepless nights, anxiety attacks, then that's not a red flag. That's a fire alarm. Your health is the foundation for everything else, and it should never come second to your career. No job or paycheck is worth sacrificing your well-being. You can always make more money, but you can't buy your health back. Now, sign number 2, you've checked out mentally. We've all been there. You're showing up to work, but you're not really there. See, when you're mentally checked out, it's more than just having a bad day. It's a chronic state of disengagement. So your energy is low, you're going through the motions, and you're just waiting for the end of the day or the end of the month. You've stopped caring, and you're just doing the bare minimum. So it's no longer a job, it's a drain on your life. Now, when you stop caring, it's not just the work that suffers, it's your sense of purpose. You're capable of so much more than just clocking in and out. So don't let a job put out your fire. Sign number 3 is chronic Sunday night anxiety. Do you feel anxious every Sunday night? That tightness in your chest, the dread of facing another work week that no amount of Netflix can distract you from. Now, if it's become a pattern, can, that's more than just a bad week. It's a sign that something is wrong. Your body and your mind are telling you something important. It might be time to move on and find work that aligns with who you are and what excites you. Life is too short to spend 52 Sundays a year in anxiety, and it's definitely too short to spend 40 plus hours every week in a place that makes you miserable. If your job is stealing your peace of mind over the weekend, it's stealing way too much. Sign number 4 is toxic office politics. Now, office politics exists everywhere, but there's a difference between normal workplace politics and a genuinely toxic environment. If you're in a place where it's normal for people to throw each other under the bus, where success is based more on who you know than what you contribute, or where manipulation is rewarded more than merits, you're in a toxic environment. The dangerous thing about toxic workplaces is how they gradually normalize dysfunction. After a while, you start thinking, maybe this is how things are. No, it's not. And every day you spend in that environment reshapes your understanding of what's acceptable. It lowers your standards. It changes how you view yourself and others. High-value people don't thrive in toxic environments. They recognize them quickly and they make strategic exits before the culture changes who they are. Now, sign number 5 is that you've hit a legitimate ceiling. Now, sometimes you've simply outgrown your role, you've mastered the skills, you've contributed value, and you've hit a ceiling. This isn't about impatience, it's about honest assessment. Maybe you're in a small company with no room for advancement, or maybe the industry itself is shrinking. Whatever the reason, if you have hit a genuine ceiling and growth matters to you, it's time to consider a move. Now, sign number 6, you don't feel valued. So when was the last time your contributions were genuinely recognized, not just with a good job email, but with meaningful acknowledgement that shows your work matters? We all need to feel valued, not just for our ego, but because recognition is feedback that helps us understand our impact and direction. Now, if you're consistently putting in quality work that goes unnoticed, unappreciated, or even worse, claimed by others, something's wrong. And here's what many people miss. This isn't about needing constant praise. It's about being in an environment that can see and acknowledge your value. Because if they can't see your value now, they won't see your potential for the future. Now, sign number 7 is when there's a significantly better opportunity out there. Now, sometimes the decision to leave is not about what's wrong with your current job. It's about recognizing that better opportunities exist. And if there's a role that would challenge you more, help you develop new skills, connect you with higher quality peers, or simply compensate you more fairly for your contributions, that's a valid reason to move. Now, the strongest career trajectories I've seen aren't built on blind loyalty to any single company. They're built on strategic moves at the right time. Don't fall into the trap of staying somewhere just because you've already invested there. The question isn't about the past, it's about the future. Where will you grow more in the next 2 years, 5 years? Now, here's the flip side. Leaving isn't always the answer. There are times when you shouldn't walk away, because sometimes what feels like a reason to quit is actually an opportunity in disguise. Now, I'm going to give you a few reasons. Reason number 1, you haven't explored solutions. Now, before you quit, have you actually tried to fix the problem? Have you, had the difficult conversation with your manager about your workload? Have you requested the resources you need? Have you spoken up about the unrealistic expectations that your boss has of you? Now, too many people choose to leave rather than stand up for themselves. They assume things can't change, so why bother? But here's what I've learned, coaching hundreds of professionals. You can change more things than you think. Most managers don't even want to lose good people. So if you approach the conversation with solutions rather than just complaints, you'll be surprised how often things can improve. Don't quit over a problem you haven't seriously tried to solve. Now, reason number 2 is you don't have a clear next step. Quitting without a plan is reckless. I'm not saying you need to have another job lined up, necessarily, but you need clarity on what comes next. What skills are you developing? What industry are you targeting? What problems do you want to solve? Now, without this clarity, you risk jumping from one bad situation to another. You're just trading one set of problems for a different set you didn't anticipate. Take the time to get clear on your next step before making a move. Strategy before action. Now, reason number 3 is the problem is clearly short term. Every job has seasons. seasons. Some are harder than others. Maybe you're in the middle of difficult projects. Maybe the company is going through a temporary restructuring. Maybe you have a challenging deadline. Before you quit, ask yourself, is this a permanent situation or a temporary storm that I can weather? Some of the most valuable professional experiences come from pushing through difficult periods. They build resilience, problem-solving skills and credibility that serves you long after the challenge has passed. So learn to distinguish between permanent issues and temporary ones. Don't leave over something that will resolve itself in a reasonable time frame. Now, reason number 4, you're financially unprepared. Now, this is critical. Don't quit without a financial cushion. I've seen too many people make impulsive exits only to find themselves taking even worse jobs, out of financial desperation in like 3 months. Before you leave, ensure you have at least 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. This gives you the freedom to make decisions from a position of choice rather than necessity. Financial stress clouds judgment. Now, reason number 5 is when there are valuable growth opportunities. Sometimes the greatest growth happens in the most challenging environments. Before you leave, honestly assess, despite the difficulties, am I still learning? Am I developing skills, relationships or experiences that will serve me in the future? Some of the most valuable career chapters don't feel good in the moment. They feel like a struggle, but they are building muscles you will use for decades. Now, making a decision to stay or leave isn't simple. It's deeply personal and it depends on your specific situation, goals, and values. But remember this, you don't always have to suffer to succeed. The strongest career trajectories I have seen aren't built by people who senselessly crucify themselves. They're built on strategic decisions about where talents can best be developed and applied. If you're at this crossroads right now, I want you to know that clarity will come. Trust the signals your mind and your body are giving you. Trust your intuition about what feels aligned versus what feels off. And most importantly, take action on that clarity once you have it. Don't let another year pass in indecision. You don't want to be the person who wakes up 10 years from now asking, why did I wait so long and waste so much time in the process? If you're ready to make a move, then you have to check out my next video on the 7 biggest mistakes people make when quitting their jobs, because how you leave is just as important as when you leave. So hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.